From the very beginning, Angela Simmons has always had a reputation for being poised, classy, and in complete control of her life. She's the daughter of Rev Run, a businesswoman, and an entrepreneur with multiple ventures under her belt from fashion to fitness. So when Angela finally opened up about being single, it wasn't a dramatic public announcement or a long-winded speech. No, she did it with 3 simple words. Not by choice. That was it. Short, sharp, and to the point. The internet instantly exploded. Fans immediately assumed she was referring to her relationship with Gotti. And just like that, speculation was back in full swing. But here's where it gets interesting. Fast forward a little, and the tables completely turned. Suddenly, it wasn't Angela needing attention or explanations, it was Gotti who found himself trying to chase her down, pleading for another chance after Glorilla humiliated him on Instagram Live in a moment that left the rapper red-faced in front of the entire world. What the public didn't see, though, were the behind-the-scenes moves. Rumors swirled about pricey gifts, late-night phone calls, and quiet gestures of affection that Angela had already begun pulling away from long before that live stream ever happened. To really understand why the story is so messy, we have to rewind all the way back to 2015. That's when Gotti officially made his crush on Angela Simmons known to the world in the boldest way possible through his music. He released a track titled Down in the DM, where he rapped the lines, "I just followed Angela Simmons, boy. I got a crush on Angela Simmons." There were no sneaky bars or cryptic messages. He said her name out loud for everyone to hear. And the internet went wild. Fans loved it because it was honest, funny, and bold, showing a side of Gotti that was both charming and relatable. Angela, on the other hand, wasn't just anyone. She was hip-hop royalty, an untouchable figure at the time, balancing her business ventures and maintaining her public persona with grace. The fact that Gotti made a real-life move on someone like Angela only added to the intrigue, making it a story that people couldn't stop talking about. Years went by, and by 2023, their relationship was no longer speculation, it was official. Angela posted a beautiful photo of the two of them together with the caption, "Yo, all I need." Social media instantly erupted. Fans were calling them hip-hop's grown couple goals, praising their mature, classy dynamic in an industry that is often plagued by messy love triangles. But, as we all know, Instagram only shows a carefully curated version of reality. While their posts painted a picture of a perfect, romantic relationship, insiders say things were quietly unraveling behind the scenes. Angela reportedly felt like she was putting in much more effort than she was getting back from Gotti. He was constantly on the move, busy with his music career, label appearances, and studio sessions, while Angela was juggling her businesses, fashion brands, and fitness projects. Meanwhile, Glorilla, whose breakout hit FNF catapulted her into superstardom, was everywhere with Gotti. From studio sessions to parties, label events, and public appearances, she was a constant presence. At first, people assumed it was purely professional, the energy of a label head working closely with one of his rising artists. But in an industry like this, whispers rarely stay whispers. Fans began to speculate that something more personal might be brewing, and those rumors only intensified when Glorilla went on Instagram Live and publicly embarrassed Gotti. That moment flipped the narrative entirely, leaving him from being a man who had won over hip-hop royalty to someone struggling to save face in the public eye. While all of this was happening, Gotti's attempts to win Glorilla's favor were far from subtle. He showered her with expensive gifts, going far beyond typical label perks or casual generosity. For her birthday, he reportedly gifted her a Maybach worth over 200, not a bouquet of flowers or designer sneakers, but a full-on luxury car with a massive red bow on top. Her Instagram post glowing with excitement after receiving the car only fueled the rumors, with fans flooding the comments, hinting that the relationship was more than just professional. And then there was the wrist game, a diamond-encrusted 18th Royal Oak watch, reportedly worth 60, a statement piece signaling not just wealth but personal interest. These weren't just casual gestures, they were investments, declarations, and a level of attention that fans quickly picked up on. Angela, for her part, didn't have to say much publicly. Her Instagram story quietly did the talking with a post that read, "I want what wants me in all areas. What flows, flows. What goes, goes." This wasn't just random motivation or a generic quote. It was a subtle but unmistakable message to Gotti and anyone paying attention. She was essentially saying, "I'm not here to chase a man who isn't fully invested in me." Angela is not the type to post emotional rants or get caught up in social media drama. She's calculated, poised, and knows how to read red flags. And clearly, she saw what was happening long before the public did. Looking back, this whole saga started like a classic fairy tale. A rapper shoots his shot at a woman far out of his league. He wins her over, and it becomes a love story that fans rooted for. But as time passed, what started as a dream romance turned into one of the messiest breakups in recent hip-hop history. The public narrative shifted from admiration to side-eye, especially as fans began connecting the dots between Gotti's lavish attention toward Glorilla and Angela's quiet withdrawal. Rumors about Gotti's constant attention to his rising artist only added fuel to the fire. Every public display and gift only confirmed what fans were thinking. From the Maybach to the Diamond Watch, to his very public support for Glorilla at events and performances, Gotti's actions were loud and clear. At one of Glorilla's birthday events in Memphis, Gotti didn't just show up quietly. He went on stage with her, hyped her up in front of the crowd, and celebrated her achievements as if he were her #1 fan. Fans watching couldn't help but notice that the energy he was putting into Glorilla seemed to eclipse the energy he had previously reserved for Angela. Angela's response was quiet but powerful. She didn't need to engage in public spats or fire off subliminal messages online. Her actions, body language, and social media hints communicated more than any words ever could. By pulling back and setting clear boundaries, she demonstrated that she valued her energy and time, and wasn't going to be treated as second priority in someone else's life. Her independence and poise throughout this saga are what make her stand out not just in the context of hip-hop drama, but as a woman who knows her worth and isn't afraid to act on it. In essence, this story highlights the messy realities behind public relationships. What starts as a fairy tale romance for social media often has complex layers of emotion, ambition, and power dynamics that fans don't see. From the bold, funny, and charming move Gotti made in 2015, to the carefully curated posts in 2023, and finally to the unraveling of the relationship amid Glorilla's rise and public interactions, the trajectory is fascinating. It's a cautionary tale about public image versus private reality, about how power, attention, and love intersect in high-profile industries, and about the subtle ways people assert their boundaries and protect their energy. Ultimately, Angela Simmons' approach throughout this story reflects maturity, self-respect, and clarity. She didn't need to announce her every move or drama on social media. Her actions, words, and choices spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti's story is a reminder of how public missteps, poor timing, and unclear priorities can completely flip the narrative, especially in an age where fans dissect every post, story, and public appearance. So, whether you're a fan of Angela, Yo Gotti, or just here for the drama, one thing is clear. The tea is piping hot, and the lessons go beyond hip-hop gossip. It's about understanding boundaries, reading the signs, and knowing when to walk away from something that no longer serves you, even if it started as a dream come true. And if there's one thing the internet loves, it's seeing a story go full circle from fantasy romance to messy reality, all in real time for the world to witness. If you thought this tea was hot, just wait, there's always more brewing in the world of hip-hop relationships.